Hello, and welcome to Pilates class with the Mark Morris Dance Group. My name is Lesley Garrison, and I am a member of the company. Welcome to my home, where we will be doing Pilates for the next hour. Thank you so much for joining us during this time when it's really hard to connect. We're happy to be connecting with each other on this platform, so please, if you can, take a chance and donate to our relief fund. It's a very stressful time for all of us, I know, but without the revenue of our performances and the dance center classes, this relief fund is our only way of making money at the moment. So please donate, and hopefully you enjoy the class. All right. So we're going to start the back of your mat, if you have a mat, and just take a moment to tune in to your body and your breath and let everything melt away, whatever you were doing before. Take some nice deep breaths here, feeling your bones stack up, the crown of the head lifting up to the ceiling, nice ease in the neck and the shoulders. We're going to slowly roll down from the top of the spine, dropping the chin to the chest, taking time for the first roll down of the day, checking into what might feel a little crunchy today, rolling down, maybe stopping to take an extra breath at a point that feels a little crunchy. Using your exhale to deepen into the roll down, all the way down, good. Once you're down, just take an easy bend of the right knee, really sinking into that left hip, opening up the hip, take a nice deep breath there. Feel your weight really standing into that left foot. Now straightening both knees, bending the left knee, pouring the weight into that right hip, and really stepping into the right foot. Nice deep breath. Good. Straightening both knees. We're going to take an easy bend of the knees, and we're going to make a little figure 8 pattern with our pelvis. So you're going to think about your sits bones making and tracing the shape of a figure 8. So I'm going in one direction, my right sit bones, then up and around my left sit bone. And I'm just letting my torso respond here. So I'm making a little loopy action in my pelvis and in my sits bones. Rolling, making that infinity sign. Good, and then reverse the motion. So you're going to go the opposite direction. Imagining your femur bones scooping out the inside of your hip joint. Letting your torso be as heavy as it can here. Good. We're slowly going to roll back up to that standing position, starting with a little tuck of the tailbone, lifting the low abdomen off the thighs. Finding your weight core down through the feet. Coming to vertical. Let's take an easy shoulder roll so the shoulders come forward, up and back. Forward, up and back. Letting the rib cage stay nice and easy, especially when the shoulders go to the back. They just sink down, reverse, back. Arms nice and heavy. Good, you're going to interlace your fingers together. Flip the palms up to the ceiling. And we're going to take an easy bend in the knees, and you're going to imagine the palms of your hands tracing a little halo above your head. So as we do this, we're going to think about our skeleton just dropping down to the ground, and the rib cage stays nice and easy. So we're gonna try to avoid splaying the ribs forward, especially as the arms go back. Good, and then reverse. This should be a nice shoulder opener. Only make it as big as you need to. It doesn't need to be big. Good. One more. Great, releasing the arms by your side again. We're gonna roll down this time all the way to our mat. Rolling all the way down. We're gonna crawl forward on the hands and knees. And in this position, let's just take an easy cat and cow. So we're scooping the abdomen and then lengthening the sternum wide and long in front of you. Scoop and curve, pressing into your hands. And then thinking the longest arch possible. So we're not collapsing into our belly, we're thinking we're reaching long. Scoop and curve. And reach long. One more time, just like that, moving your spine. Reaching wide collarbones, wide sits bones, sternum reaches forward. We're going to find a neutral spine. So hands right underneath shoulders, knees right underneath hips. We're going to find a wrap in the belly. So we're not going to stay splayed out. We're going to feel the belly lift up to the spine. And we're going to do some serratus push-ups. We're going to think about the entire shape of the spine, taking an elevator down. The shoulder blades kiss together behind you, and then press the floor away, coming back up. So spine sinks like it's on an elevator, and then press the floor away. Shoulder blades slide around the front of the rib cage. So shoulder blades kiss together, still staying contained in the abdomen, and then shoulder blades slide forward. They kiss together, staying along in the front of the abdomen. Press and kiss and press. Let's do one more. Kiss together and press. Good. From here, in your long neutral spine, neutral pelvis, we're going to tuck the toes under for a little knee hover. So you're going to lift the knee an inch off the ground, and we're just going to hold and feel how hard this is. Think wide fingers, wide palms. Breathe. Fill yourself up. Good. Inhale. Expanding into the back of the ribs. Exhale. Knees down. Take a little rest. Good. One more time. You're going to feel that wrapping of the abdomen around, lengthening the heart and the sternum forward. Lift the knees and hover. Breathing. Doesn't look like much, but it's really hard. Breathe. Knees down. All right, let's just tuck the toes under, and let's actually scooch the feet and the knees together, and we're just gonna sit back onto our heels for a little stretch of the foot and the toes. This is a lot for me. If you can walk your hands up and put a little bit of more weight into your toes. Take a nice deep breath here. Inhale. A couple more breaths. Good, let's walk our hands forward. All right, we're gonna come lying on your back. Knees bent, feet flat on the floor. And just take a moment here to feel your spine dropping, feeling the natural curves of your spine. So noticing where your body makes contact with the floor and where there's a little bit of space. Breathing. Take your hands, put them on your pelvis. We're gonna start with an easy 6 to 12 pelvic tilt. So we're imagining we have the face of a clock on the front of our abdomen. So our belly button is 12 o'clock, our right hip point is 3, our pubic bone is 6, and our left hip point is 9. So we're going to imagine rolling a little marble along the surface of the front of our pelvis. The first action is just a little tuck of the tailbone, and then reaching wide to that 6 o'clock position. So it's a very subtle, deep movement. So we scoop our belly in, and then we roll the marble to that 6 o'clock position. A couple more times, scoop and curve. And you're trying to keep your rib cage out of it, so maybe it helps to put your hands on your ribs and see if you can release that. This is where I hold a lot, so we just tuck under and reach long. All right, we're gonna take a full circle. So we're gonna scoop the belly to that 12 o'clock, drop the right hip point, roll it around to 6, drop the left hip point, and back to the center. We're gonna do 2 more times in that direction. So we're thinking smooth rolling sensation, almost thinking about your pelvis rolling around your leg bones that are staying out of it. So your legs are nice and easy where they are, and you're rolling your pelvis around your femur bones, and reverse 3 times in the other direction. Rolling. Try not to push from your feet, really thinking about this action coming deep, 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 wide in the front of your abdomen. Good. We're going to find our neutral pelvis. And we're going to have our arms long by your side. We're just going to take a knee fold. So inhale, on the exhale, the right knee floats up to the tabletop position. And lower it down. We're going to march back and forth with this. So we're deepening, increasing, widening in the front of the abdomen, lower. Really connecting with that exhale to find the sinking of the abdomen down. Inhale. Exhale. Sinking belly sort of goes in and up. And lower it down. All right, right leg comes up to tabletop, left leg comes to meet it, keeping that neutral pelvis. Right leg floats down, left leg floats down. Inhale. Exhale, left leg up. Deepening in that crease of the hip, left leg down, right leg down. Good, one more time each side. Right leg scoops up. Left leg comes to meet it. Sinking your abdomen wide to the floor. Good. So we want to avoid pooching the belly out as we do this, and we want to think about deepening and a sinking in the abdomen. Good. Inner thighs together, feet together. Slowly take both legs up to tabletop. Trying to keep the shoulders nice and easy. So we're going to avoid the shoulders rolling up. Stay nice and flat. We're going to take one toe down as far as we can, only with keeping the pelvis stable. And then other leg goes down. Good. So as you do the toe taps, think about moving the thigh bone rather than bending the knee more. So we keep the same angle in our leg and we move the thigh. Good. And a couple more times. Thigh bone reaches away. It's harder than it seems. As we bring the knee up, think sits bones wide to prevent that tucking of the tailbone. One more time, right? So the knee reaches down, and then as it comes up, we almost think about sticking our booty out a little bit more. And one more time. Good, inner thighs together, double toe tap. So we're gonna slide the thighs forward, and then deepen to come back up. So you should feel this nice and deep in the low part of your abdomen. Slide and deepen. Think about your guts widening, nice and heavy to the mat. Good. 2 more. And 1 more. Good, we're gonna lower both legs for the count of 8, slowly down to the ground. So we have 8, 7, 6. Don't stop moving. 5, 4, 3, 2, and release your feet on the ground. Reach your arms back behind the base of your skull. Wide elbows, wide collarbones. Inhale, on the exhale, nod your chin to your chest and curl your head and shoulders off the mat. Good. Release all the way down. Inhale. Exhale, swing your ribs down and back into the floor. Good, and then control all the way down. Inhale. Exhale. Nod your chin. Swing the ribs back and control all the way down. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Good. We're going to stay up here. Right leg floats up to tabletop and lower. So we keep the shoulders and the head rounded off the mat, and we're going to march back and forth. Good. Deepening the belly. Feeling the femur bone moving in the hip joint independently from the pelvis. Good. And one more. Great. Lowering the spine down, taking the arms up to the ceiling. Inner thighs together. We're just going to open the right knee to the side, stabilizing your pelvis so we're trying not to flop open. We have to use our left obliques to really control this movement. And in other side. So I'm just rotating my leg, staying heavy on the opposite side so you don't roll over. Open. And in. And open. One more time each side. Open. And in. Open. And in. Good. We're going to take opposite arm away. So right arm, left, right leg, left arm. And in. Left leg, right arm. And in. Switch. As you do this, thinking about length through your entire spine. So even when we're here, we can think crown of the head reaches far away from your pelvic floor, far away from your pelvis. One more time each side. Good. Arms long by your side. Thighs hip distance apart. Feet, knees, hips align. We're going to do an articulating bridge. So we're going to start by tucking the tailbone under, sequencing through the spine, rolling, peeling your vertebra off the floor, stepping into your feet, and all the way up. Good. Just take a moment there. Pull your heels towards your butt. And then think about yawning open the front of your hips. So finding lots of space between your hip points and your thigh bones. Good. We're going to roll down from the throat, the sternum, the top ribs, middle ribs, waist, top of the pelvis. Unfurl the tailbone at the end. Let's do 2 more times just like that. You can take your time, go as slow as you want to. As you do this, imagine your footprint. Is your weight pouring to the outside of your foot, the inside of your foot? See if you can equally distribute the weight into your footprint. So we think inner heel, outer heel, big toe, baby toe, all weight bearing. Good. And roll down. This time we're going to lever the spine. So that means we take the entire shape of the spine up. So I keep all of my curves of my spine and I just step into the floor. lifting my pelvis up. And then I think crease at the hips, widen the sits bones to come back down. And lift up. Whole shape. Crease at the hips, widen your sits bones to come back down. 2 more times. Up. Think about your lower legs nice and weighted, shins weighted and pressing down into the ground. Shins press down, pelvis comes up. Good. This time we're gonna stay. So we go up to the bridge. Hip points nice and even. So notice if you're dropping in one side and really try to stay nice and even. Lower your hips a few inches. We're gonna march the right leg up to tabletop and then lower it down. Left leg up to tabletop and lower it down. Good. Keep marching back and forth. Feeling your ribs melting down. Finding your ribs sort of reaching long towards your pelvis and your pelvis reaching long towards your knees. So the whole movement is lengthened. Good. And lower the pelvis down. All right, this time we lever the spine up. Lever the spine up. Let's go to full range. Lower it about 2 inches. Right leg floats up to tabletop, and we're gonna roll down from the top of the spine. So same thing as we did before, throat, sternum, but now we have one leg up. Ribs, waist, unfurl the tailbone so that you get to the nice neutral pelvis, and then lower the leg. Same thing, all the way up. And lower about 2 inches, left leg floats up. Rolling down from the top of the spine. Tailbone is the last. And down. Let's do that a couple more times. All right, we're gonna reverse that. So we're gonna take the right leg up to tabletop. From here, we're gonna press up into the bridge. All the way, lower about 2 inches, and then roll down from the top of the spine. Lower it down. Left leg comes up to tabletop. Pour your weight into the right foot and press all the way up. Lower about 2 inches, and then we're gonna roll down. Think about the ribs sequencing. One more time each side. Full range. Knee reaches far away from you. Good. And then we lower 2 inches. We're gonna roll down from the top. Unfurl. Good. Last time. So you should really be feeling the back of the legs, the glutes, the hamstrings, and rolling down. Good. Hug your knees into your chest and take a few circles. Rolling, reverse. Keep the knees hugged into the chest. We're going to flex the feet. Hands are on your thighs. We're going to do a little isometric exercise here. So we're going to think about tucking the tailbone under, trying to lift the booty off the floor, and we're going to resist with our hands. So it's not going to look like much, but I'm going to be pressing my thighs forward and up from my abdomen, and then resisting with my hands. So inhale, exhale, tuck your tailbone under, really trying to lift your booty. Let's actually curl our head and shoulders off the mat too. So I'm really trying to peel my booty off the mat, and I'm resisting with my hands. Breathe. And release. Good. Inhale. Exhale, tuck the tailbone under. Nod the chin to the chest. Try to really peel the butt off the ground, and then resist, pressing forward and out with your hands. And release. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Nod the chin to the chest. Tuck the tailbone under. Resist. Press, 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 press. Good. From here, both legs to tabletop. Let's just take our arms by your side. We're going to do our hundreds. So we're going to pump the arms up. We're going to inhale. And exhale. 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 You can either stay there or lengthen the legs. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. 2 more. Inhale. And exhale. Last one. And exhale. Hug your knees into your chest. Let's lengthen the left leg long. Hug the right knee into the chest. Pull it across your midline for a little twist. You can keep that left hand resting on top of the thigh for a little extra weight. And really just think about melting into this nice stretch, breathing. Coming back onto your back. Hug the knee in one last time and then switch. Left knee hugs in, lengthen your right leg long. Pull the knee across the midline. Rest the hand on top of the thigh and then look past that left arm for more of a twist. Good, coming back onto your back. Knees bent. Okay, we're gonna do a little bit more ab work before we lie on our stomachs. So we're gonna do single leg stretch. Let's curl our head and shoulders off the mat. We're gonna hug the right knee into the chest. Right hand to right ankle, left hand to underneath the right knee, right? So this is our grip. You're gonna think wide collarbone so we're not rolling forward in the shoulders. From here, I'm just gonna reach the left leg long, right? So just find the scooping in the abdomen, wide elbows, and let's just take that grip onto the other side so we get a feel for it. So left hand to left ankle, and then right hand right underneath the left knee. Yes, it's hard to get out, right? So just feel that grip, and then we're gonna switch. Let's start really slow, so I stay rounded up through my spine, head and shoulders. I'm almost like gazing towards my knees, and switch. Switch. Switch, let's speed it up. And switch. Switch. Keep breathing, curling. Trying to keep the pelvis neutral, so you're just moving the thighs in the sockets. Let's do a couple more. Good, both knees in. Stay rounded up, holding onto the shins. You're gonna take your right foot away from your right fingertips, staying rounded up through your spine, and then circle the arms back and around. Good. Left toes away from left fingertips, circle the arm back and around. So this is half of double leg stretch. Reach, circle the arms, staying rounded up through the spine. Reach, circle the arm. Good, we're gonna put those two things together. So we reach arms away from leg and deepen as you curl in. Arms away from leg, deepen in the curve as your arms come in. Let's do 3 more. Out. And out. and out. Good, relax your head down. Let's lie on our stomachs, resting your forehead on your palms, on the back of your palms. Elbows nice and wide. Not dumping and relaxing fully here, finding a little lift of the lower abdomen off the mat. And you're gonna think your legs stay nice and energetically reaching underneath you. So, just here, take a moment. We're gonna reach the crown of the head off the floor, keeping the hands on the floor and just thinking about smiling my sternum forward and then control all the way down. Reach the sternum forward, thinking the longest shape possible, doesn't matter how high you come up, and then lower it down. Reach. Good. And lower. You should really feel it in between your shoulder blades. Now we're going to keep the hands connected to the forehead. So it's going to be a little bit harder. So the hands stay connected to the forehead as I reach. And then keep the control on the lowering. Hands stay connected. Reach. And lower. 3 more. All right, this time we're going to peel the left elbow off the mat for a little bit of a rotation in this upper back extension. So I'm going to peel my left elbow up. I'm going to keep my right elbow on the ground, and I'm still going to keep my sternum reaching forward. Lower down, other side. Keep the left elbow and peel the right. Peel, peel, peel. And lower. Good. One more time each side. All right. Little space between your legs. We're going to lengthen through the right leg to reach the right leg off the mat. And lower it down. Lengthen through the left leg to reach the left leg off the mat. And lower. Continue with this. So you want to keep equal weight on your hip points as you're doing this. So you want to try to avoid rocking back and forth on your pelvis. So keep that lift of the lower abdomen and staying nice and even with your hip points. Good. Now we're going to add what we just did with our upper spine with the extension of our legs. So we're going to peel the left elbow off the mat as we lift the right leg into hip extension. So we have peel and lift. And rolling down. Good, other side. Left leg, right elbow. Imagine somebody's pulling you apart, front and back. So it's not about how high it is, it's about how long it is. Peel. And let's do 2 more times each side. One more time. Good. Come up onto your forearms. Elbows right underneath shoulders. Let's actually do fists with our hands. And we're just going to take a little arch and curl here. So we're going to lift the abdomen up around the spine. And then almost pull the elbows back towards you as the sternum reaches long and away. Scoop and curl. The hips can come off the mat. And then pull the elbows. And curl. All right, we're going to push back into a child's pose. Letting your torso hang. You can widen your knees if that feels good to you, or keep them together. Just take a nice breath here. Feeling everything sink. Hips are heavy. Feeling the nice crease in the hip joint. We're going to tent the fingers, lift the elbows off the mat, and then see if you can walk your hands a little bit further away from you. You can let the shoulders shrug up to your ears. Inhale. On the exhale, see if you can draw the front ribs together. So you get a nice stretch in the armpit there. Inhale. Exhale, think about the ribs drawing down and in. One more, inhale. Exhale, narrowing the waist. Good, walk your hands over to the right side. Keep that left hip point nice and heavy. Breathe into the space between your ribs and your pelvis. Rainbow the arms back over to the other side. And breathe. Really reach the ribs away from the pelvis. Creating more space in that side body. Good, walk your hands forward. Rolling up through the spine. Coming back to this quadruped position. Hands right underneath shoulders, knees right underneath hips. Find your neutral spine, neutral pelvis, right? So we're not collapsing, we're finding the lift without tucking the tailbone under, so we think wide sits bones. We're going to maintain that as we reach the right fingertips forward. Think about the thumb reaching up to the ceiling, and only move as far as you can without shifting in your torso. And then left arm. Thumb reaches up and lower. Good. So as I take my right arm, I'm going to avoid shifting my weight over to the left side. And left arm. Good, one more time each side. Think about your sternum reaching forward. All right, we're gonna take the right leg behind you, tuck the toes under. Same idea here. Without shifting the weight to the left, we're gonna use our core, find the belly lifting up to the spine, and then just lift the back of the leg up. Doesn't have to go very high. And lower. Let's just lift and lower here. 2, 3, and 4. Heel reaches far away. 5. Bend the knee back in. Let's go to the other side. So, lifting the lower abdomen, sliding the leg away without changing anything in the pelvis. Tuck the toes under. We're just gonna lift the thigh up. Good, and then lower. 2, 3, and 4, and 5. Good, bending the knee back in. We're gonna take right feet, left fingertips. Right toes, left fingertips. And then we're gonna lift everything off the mat. Thinking about the inseam of your right leg spiraling up to the ceiling. So inseam spirals up to the ceiling. And lower, other side. Left leg reaches long. Right arm. Breathing. Good, one more time each side. All right, we're going to take the right arm out to a T position. So we just take the arm out to the side. Press into that left arm to start the rotation. So the left arm presses into the ground to rotate, and then we're going to come back to that T position. So it's not going to be huge. I want the arm to stay connected to the back. Press into the arm, and then think about sternum rotates to look to the side, and then back. Good. Press into the left arm. Sternum rotates. This time we're going to thread the fingers underneath for a little twist. Press into the back of the arm, and then you can walk this left arm up for a little twist. Breathing. Bending that left arm back, pressing into that left arm, rotate again, and then back down, all right? So we're gonna take the left arm out to a T. We're gonna press into the right arm and think about the rib cage moving for the twist, and then hover back down. Press into the right arm. Rib cage moves, sternum looks to the side. Third time. Press and rotate, and thread the needle. Press into the back part of that left arm. Walk the right fingertips forward for a twist. As much as possible, you stay right on that midline. You don't shift your pelvis too much side to side. Bending the fingers back, stepping into that hand, rotating, and back to quadruped. Let's shift off of your wrist for a moment. We're going to take the wrist face, let's do one at a time. We'll do right fingertips down. We're gonna come onto the hand, and then you can support yourself with your left arm. We're gonna be a little bit weight bearing on this right hand, but only do as much as feels good for you. We're gonna circle the torso to get into that wrist. Good. And reverse the circle. Good, shake that hand out. And left fingertips point down. Support yourself mainly with this right arm, but we're gonna do little circles of the arm bone, pressing as much as feels nice to you into this wrist for a little stretch. Reverse. Good. Shake it out. Now we're going to have fingertips face you, heel of hands forward, shifting onto this quadruped position, right? Let's take a couple cat-cow in this position. So we're going to scoop and curl around. And then as we arch, I want you to bend your elbows back towards you and think your chest reaches forward. There should be a nice stretch on your wrists. Scoop and curl. And arch. Bending the elbows, reaching your ribs through your shoulders. Good, find a neutral spine. We're gonna slowly sit our hips back to our feet, peeling the hands off the mat. Slowly peel. Good, just take a couple wrist circles. All right, let's lie on our side. So, some sideline activities. We're gonna lie on our right side. You can rest on that right arm and stack your left side right on top of the right. So we want to avoid being too pitched forward, right? So I like to align myself with the edge of the mat to sort of help find my verticality, or I guess it's not your length in this position. So we're not rolling forward, we're not rolling back. You can have your hand on your hip. We're gonna do some clamshells. So my heels are gonna stay together. I rotate my knee and then I come back in. So the leg is doing this motion, not the hip. So the hand is here to help you notice if you're moving from the hip or not. Good. 4. Let's do 10. 5. The other thing that tends to happen here is to tuck the tailbone under, and I want you to think nice and wide sits bones, like you're sitting down in an imaginary chair. Two more. Good. Now you're going to hover the leg, flex the foot. We're going to internally rotate the thigh bone, and then we're going to kick the heel up on that diagonal. Kick, and then stay internally rotated, come back down. And kick, and in. As you bring the knee back in, think wide sits bones. This left sits bone reaches away. 2 more. And the last one. Good. Rest for a moment. You can do a little butt pound. Good. And hover the leg. So flex the foot. Your leg should be sort of like a right angle. We're going to take little thigh circles. So we're thinking about stirring the thigh bone and the hip joint. 2, 3, 4. So it's small, but an even circle. Reverse. Whew. Good. Final thing, we're going to reach the leg along right underneath our hip. We're just going to lift for 1 and 2. What are the ribs doing? Are you breathing? Whew. Good. Come up. We're going to roll around to the other side. We'll do a little stretch after this. All right. Stacking yourself up. Trying not to pitch forward in your torso. Knees bent in front of you. And we're just going to keep the heels together. Rotate the top knee for some clamshells. 2 and 3. Have as much control on the lowering as you do on the opening. Sometimes we just drop. All right, hover. Internally rotate from the thigh. We're going to kick the heel up on the diagonal, and then knee comes back in. As the knee comes in, you think about reaching the sits bone away from you. Knee comes in, sits bone reaches away, so you have more space on the right side of the torso. 2 more. Good. Rest for a moment. Take a little hover. Right at hip height, knee right in line with hip. We're going to think about stirring the knee for some circles. 3. Reverse. Think wide sits bones as you're doing this, so you're not tucking the tailbone under. Last thing, we're going to reach the leg long underneath you. Right at hip height, we're going to lift and lower. 2 and 3. Think about breathing into your back. Good. Oh, that's hard. I'm used to just watching you do it, and now I'm doing it with you. It's hard. Let's do a figure 4 stretch so we can stretch our booties. We're gonna let's cross the left ankle over the right thigh and reach around, grab your right thigh, and easily pull that thigh into your chest. Breathe in. Let's release and switch. Hug your knees into your chest. Roll over to one side. And we're going to come back to all fours. Tuck your toes under, press into a downward facing dog. And just walk through your feet, tread through your feet here. Really sending energy down through the heel of the foot to stretch the back of the leg. At the same time, thinking sits bones reach up to the ceiling. Heels reach down. Good. From the downward dog, we're going to roll forward from the tailbone, come into a plank position. We're just going to hold the plank. Energy out through the heels, energy out through the crown of the head. Let's rock forward and back. Forward, back. Forward, back. Good. Crease at the hips, downward facing dog. Press your hands into the floor. Roll forward from the tailbone. Plank position. Good. From here, we're going to stay in our plank. We're just going to lift the right leg off. And lower. Left leg off. And lower again. Right. And left. One more time. Right. And left. Butt up into the air. Downward facing dog. Bending the knees. We're going to do a little power move here. We're going to press from the feet and come into that plank position. So press, bend the knees, butt up into the air. And bend. Really press from the legs. Let's do 3 more. 3 and 2. And 1. Butt up into the air, walk your hands back to your feet. Let your head hang. Let's grab elbows and feel the weight of your torso dropping down. So this should feel a little different than it did at the beginning of class. Just notice that. Release. Clasp the other elbow on top. And drop the arms. Let's reach behind our back for a little shoulder opener. Interlace the fingers. Let the hands fall to the floor. And you can do a little bending and straightening of the knees, rotating the torso. Releasing the arms. We're going to slowly roll up to standing, tucking the tailbone under, bending the knees. Find everything stacked up. Your skeleton just dropping down. We're back to vertical. Just do a little neck stretch. So you're going to drop your right ear to your right shoulder, but still find the length through your spine. So we're not collapsing. You can reach around and have a little assistance with your hand. Don't pull, just keep it nice and easy. Nice breath into the side of the neck, like gills of a fish. Opening. Release. Left ear to left shoulder. Staying nice and broad in the front of the chest so we're not rolling forward in the shoulders. And then you can reach around. All right. Thank you for joining me today. This was so fun. There will be more of this to come, so please tune in. I will be teaching a Pilates class on Wednesdays at 3 and also a modern class on Wednesdays at 5 p.m. So same space, but some music and modern dance moves. So please come join me there. And yes, have a wonderful week. Thank you so much. Bye.